Teachers don't always want to say hello to you outside the classroom just because you're one of their students, and they probably know more about you than you'd like them to. From the real reasons behind movie day in class to caffeine addictions, here are things your teacher doesn't want you to know. But first, we'd like to give a quick shout out over here to this person for leaving us this comment. We appreciate your insight and we'd like to hear more about your thoughts on this video. Number 14. Teachers have favorites. You probably know this already, but the teachers don't like to admit it. They have their favorites who show up on time, do their homework, and have a genuine interest in learning. The favorites are likely who you expect them to be and often raise their hand if they know the answer. Some students are just going to make their day easier and aren't always texting on their phones. It's possible that once you become the teacher's favorite, other kids in the class won't appreciate it, but are likely unaware of any perks that person could be getting. The teacher's favorite might get away with chewing gum in class, might get a warning instead of a trip to the principal's office, or even some possible leniency on a test. In any case, we all know it happens, but it's likely to be expressed in very minor ways that outsiders might not understand. Number 13. Set you up. Teachers have to come to work on a regular basis, and there are certain ways that they might try to entertain themselves and play matchmaker. If they think that two students might have a slight crush on each other, it's possible that they might move them so they can sit closer to each other. They might even create work groups where your crush is your partner. They then get to sit back and watch as if it's an episode of The Bachelor. Teachers understand that love can be difficult, and it's not always easy to walk up to the girl that you like and ask her to prom. Some teachers on Reddit sound like they're opposed to the idea, while others feel as though it's a good chance for students to get interaction with someone they like. One teacher even claims that they played matchmaker so well that the students actually got married just a couple years later after high school. Number 12. Don't want to run into you out of class. Just imagine being a teacher and always trying to maintain a professional appearance even when you're not at work. Chances are the teacher lives fairly close to where they work and might occasionally see some students when they least expect it. It could almost become so annoying to the point where they feel like they just need to start doing things far away from where they work. The kids might not always realize that teachers have lives outside the classroom. You also better believe that anything can turn into a rumor and spread around school faster than wildfire. Seeing a student outside in public after you've maybe had too many drinks at the bar must seem like a sobering experience. Many public teachers aren't even allowed to post any photos of them drinking on social media and are worried their students' parents or even their students might find their page. Number 11. Do your homework. Teachers can tell when you haven't done your homework, and they will intentionally call on the people who they think either copy people's homework or don't know the answer. This could provide the student with a little bit of embarrassment, which will then motivate them to get a little bit of studying done. Some have also admitted on Reddit that they don't mind if you cheat on your homework since it's only a small percentage of your grade. It's also at least exposing you to some of the material. Trying to get students to actually do their homework is becoming more and more difficult, especially with the rise of technology. They also might intentionally assign a big project right before a popular video game is about to come out just to make your life miserable. Number 10. Caffeine addiction. Waking up early before school even starts can be a rough routine that not everyone can get used to. Not only that, but then teachers have to stand in front of the class and repeat what they've said over and over until the students understand, which could be never. It turns out that it's very likely the only thing keeping your teacher going is large amounts of caffeine that they've recently ingested. Teachers rank third in the top 10 professions likely to suffer from coffee addiction. Number 2 on that list was police officers, and number 1 is journalists, in case you're wondering. Many teachers would admit that their working performance could suffer without a cup of joe, and they're not drinking it for the taste either. Caffeine withdrawal can also take place, so don't mess with your teacher if you can notice that they haven't had their coffee yet. Number 9. Movie day hangovers? Ever feel lucky when your teacher randomly decided that today was going to be a TV day? Or the days when they decide to put on American Eye and let me do the teaching? It's very likely that your teacher could be hungover that day and just didn't have it in them to do another lesson. It's also possible, we suppose, that teachers could be doing useful things during this time like grading papers or coming up with a new lesson plan. Be sure to ask your teacher what they were doing last night after they decided to show a movie randomly. Number 8. Teachers stall. Ever feel like your teacher might be trying to kill some time before class by talking about unrelated things? It's very possible that they could be trying to stall just a little bit because sometimes classes can be a little bit too long. Many teachers feel as though students aren't ready to jump into a lesson right away and need a little bit of small talk before things get started. It gives time for late people to show up and not be totally lost. Once the report is due, teachers could have hundreds of papers to grade, and sometimes they'll just give you work to keep you busy while they get work done. Number 7. They'll eavesdrop. If you're talking in class constantly, it's possible that your teacher might be listening in on some private information. They might have heard you ask out the girl you like awkwardly and see you get shut down. It's not always that they're trying to eavesdrop, it's just that kids talk way too loud sometimes and they have no choice but to hear it. Most of the time, they'll pretend like they didn't hear it, but sometimes the information is too much to be ignored. Some teachers on Reddit will admit to hinting to their students if they saw boyfriends flirting with other girls or bragging about certain experiences. Number 6. Packing heat. You might be a little bit surprised to know that your teacher could be holding on to some kind of firearm on them during class in case things get a little bit out of control. There are currently 18 different states that permit teachers to carry weapons in schools with permission from the school or the district. This includes some of the most populated states like California, Texas, New York, and others. For other states, it might be a little bit more difficult, including more requirements for the teachers to be packing heat. Be careful next time you start goofing off in class. It could be a lot more painful than detention. Number 5. They might like to party. Many teachers have been fired for what they do in their personal life and from parents snooping around on their Instagram. Take the Russian model Victoria Demoshenko, who was a teacher before she got fired for her Instagram getting a little bit too spicy. Is it a crime to be a teacher with a modeling portfolio or what? After further investigation, it appears as though they might have been right, but in any case, a woman named Ashley Payne was fired for posting a photo of her holding a beer in one hand and a glass of wine in her other hand. She worked in the state of Georgia, and the photo was taken while traveling in Europe during summertime when school was out. Let us know what you think in the comments section, and maybe we'll feature you in an upcoming video. Number 4. Gossip about your parents. Parents are often arguing with teachers about their kids acting up in class, or about why they're not passing classes, etc. It seems inevitable that it'll happen eventually. It's likely that if your parents are a bunch of troublemakers and are always fussing with the teachers will let the other teachers know about it. Fellow staff members feel as though it's like having their peers back and warning them so they can avoid some confrontation. There are quite a few crazy confrontations between parents and teachers that you can read about on Reddit. It'll make you believe that the teachers at least have some good stories to tell each other in the break room. Number 3. Pretend looking busy. Teachers have admitted that if you're in class, that you might as well pretend to be busy so they don't have to bother you about it. If you just sit there with your head down and act like you don't care at all, they basically have to tell you to stop. If they just let you sleep in class all day, other students will catch on and start to do it. They say that as long as you can make it look like you're doing something, that you can basically zone out all day if you want. At least have some paper and pencil on your desk. You'll learn later on in life that this is an important lesson when your boss replaces your teacher someday. Number 2. Fib about their age. How old do you think your teacher is? Teachers are getting younger and younger by the day, but they might not want you to know about it. Some teachers on Reddit have confessed to trying to make themselves look older in order to make their students respect them. But in reality, they're more like in their mid-20s fresh out of college. Somehow they get the students to believe them by putting on dark makeup under their eyes and telling other teachers to make fun of them for being old, etc. In the end, they might make students believe that the teacher either aged well and was really in their 40s, or has been teaching long enough to tell that you've been cheating. Number 1. The Pledge of the Allegiance. If you're a student at a public school in the United States, you might remember your teachers forcing you to stand up and recite the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. But what are you doing exactly, and how did this whole thing start? What exactly does it mean to pledge allegiance? Over 60 million US students say it each day, and many probably don't even know that it was written by Francis Bellamy, a devout Christian socialist who wanted everyone to live in a utopian society. And what are we pledging to? According to some, it's defined as total obedience to our government and to recognize the flag as a symbol of our country and freedom.
So what did you guys think of that video? Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and smash that bell for notifications every day.